Who are the biggest surprises in the NFL this year? Everybody's going to say, well, the Rams are a surprise. The Jaguars are a surprise. Who else? Maybe a lot of people might think Kansas City, the way they started, at least that was a surprise, beating the Patriots and going on. They got out to 5-0. You could say a surprise on a negative end is like the Giants. Another surprise on the negative end is the Raiders. Just the Cowboys maybe is a disappointment. The Eagles would be a good surprise. And in life, when we get surprised, we're like, oh, and we kind of blow up the surprise because it's simply something that we're not used to. If you went into your room, and I don't know how many of you have bookshelves, but if you had a bookshelf and I replaced your bookshelf with a nicer bookshelf, and it might only be $10 nicer, $20 nicer, right? Something moderate. You're going to think of it as like, oh, that's a really big deal. Like, it is this entirely brand new thing that has been brought into your room or your life, and you're like, wow, that's really cool. When in reality, I just upgraded your $10 bookshelf to a $20 bookshelf. And sometimes you just won't realize how little a deal it is, or even how less of a surprise that it is until you really kind of put it in your mind. The team I'm going to talk about that everyone's talking about, oh, it's a surprise, wow, no one saw them being this good, is the New Orleans Saints. Well, why didn't we see the Saints being this good? The writing was kind of on the wall. The same way I replaced your bookshelf because your bookshelf might have been old, kind of breaking down. It was just cheap. You needed a better one. That's what the Saints did. The Saints had a great draft. No, you're supposed to, when you have a great draft, it's expected when you pick highly, and the Saints have had a couple years now of picking pretty well, that eventually it gets better. You don't draft well and stay the same. They also, the fun thing, I saw this, that the Saints are a completely different team. Like, this is not your dad's Saints team. They run the ball. Wait, what? Every Saints team that's ever been good has run the ball. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, let me throw some numbers out here for you. In 2009, the Saints were 13-3. Oh, guess what? They were 6th in rushing that year. 11-5 in 2010. They went all the way down to 28th. That's a big difference. In 2011, we're back to 13-3 and back to 6th in the league in rushing. In 2012, they were 7-9 and they were back to 28th. In 13, 11-5, back to 25th. In 2014, which is their only oddball year, that they were 7-9 and had the 13th ranked rushing offense. In 15, they were 7-9 with the 24th. Last year, 7-9 with the 16th. And in 2017, this year, they are now 8-2 with the 3rd best rushing offense in the league. Let's make sure we're not misconstruing history just because of how great a player Drew Brees is. When Drew Brees first got to New Orleans, Deuce McAllister was the featured player on that offense, and they drafted Reggie Bush. Why? Because Sean Payton knew, I gotta run the ball. My offense works when I can run the ball, and I can do short passes off that, and then I can get into my play action, some of my more trick and complicated plays that Sean Payton is known for. And when he's able to do that, and he has a good running back, and he has a good running game, look at just the years that he's 13-3, which they could very well go this year 6th, and this year 3rd. The Saints are 100% a running team, and when they go away from their own identity, they turn into a 7-9 team. Very mediocre. We don't look at them as a running team simply because Drew Brees has put up these incredible numbers, and we've distorted what we thought of him. Drew Brees was the old bookshelf that we're looking at and going, I mean, it still works. It's good, like it's still holding up all my books. Drew Brees still throwing for all his yards, still getting his touchdowns. And then I give you a slightly better bookshelf, a slightly better running game, and you think whoa, it's just magical. This bookshelf is fantastic. It's $20. It's the best $20 I've ever spent. Look at Drew Brees, Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, if I said that correctly. They have a running game. Guess what the running game does? When your defense is bad or not great, or even this year their defense has been good, the running game keeps your defense off the field. Drew Brees being in shootouts was the worst thing you could do for that team because their defense was all-time bad. When you're all-time bad, you don't want to be out there having to defend 50, 60, 70 plays a game. That's not a good formula. That's having the old bookshelf. It might do its job. Drew Brees might go out there and get his yards. But that bookshelf will break down, and Drew Brees will not win. If you guys saw, if you guys heard, if you guys just noticed anything that you like, please like, comment, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, iTunes. I'm pointing my finger like I'm actually pointing at something here. Nothing's going to show up no matter how long I point at it. Please go subscribe, like, comment, share, tell your friends, throw a brick through someone's window, spread the word, spread the message. I will see you guys on Wednesday.